Greetings, everyone. Pardo here from Sea of Tranquility. Welcome to another episode of What's Hot with Sea of Tranquility. It's Wednesday, new review day here on the channel. And look who I brought with me today. Mr. Chris Allo is here. And judging by that shirt he's wearing, you think he's going to talk about Black Sabbath today? You think he's going to talk about Liveevil today? Yes, he is. Chris has got the Liveevil Deluxe edition. Actually, you got two versions of it. I don't have mine yet. But Chris is like, oh, you want me to wait till you get it? I'm like, no, let's just have you do it. Show us the whole thing, the whole kit and caboodle. So Liveevil has been remixed and reissued and given deluxe treatment both on CD and vinyl. And Chris is here to do a little show and tell for us.
Absolutely. Yeah. Thanks, Pete. Thanks for having me like always. I mean, this is my my all-time favorite live record. So it's a pleasure. I mean, I got the shirt, got my battle jacket that my buddy Des painted for me. Yeah, I absolutely love Liveevil, and I kind of felt like you did when you and I talked a couple weeks ago. It's like, well, you know, the original mix of Liveevil, yeah, it's kind of muddy and kind of muffled at times.
I never hated it.
Never hated it. It never really bothered me. After listening to it, though, like, wow, this is the Black Sabbath remix that I never knew I wanted. So, well, real quick, I'll go through the packaging because I know a lot of people like that. And yes, I have both versions. I mean, I have multiple versions of this record, but this is the new CD version, and this is the new vinyl version. I'll just go through the vinyl version because everything is the same in both versions. It's just the extras are shrunk down in the CD version. And I will say, you know, I know I talked to a couple people. You know, the pricing was brought up, and I was like, you know, I get it. You know, I never want to spend anybody else's money, but for the price, I don't think it's that bad because the CD version, I think the retail was it $80, but I found it online for $52.
I think most of these Sabbath box sets over the last couple of years have been between like $45 and $60. That's supposed to be the going rate for them. I know the Jethro Tull box.
So maybe the retail is 60 then? Maybe the retail. And I paid $52 for this. Yeah. And I was like, well, but it's 4 CDs, 2 books, and a poster. So I'm like, all right, you know, that's not bad. And this one, the vinyl one, I know the retail is $100 US, but I found it online for $80. And again, it's 4 records, 2 books, and a poster. But everything is bigger in this. Yeah. So, you know, it all depends on what you want. I mean, I will say that the program reproduction, which is in here, is and I have the original. You know, this came with like a hardback book, a tour book reproduction, and a poster reproduction. On both of those, I have the originals. But because the CD format is so small, they had to shrink the booklet down. It's impossible to read. I mean, without a magnifying glass. I mean, I know I got the olds. Don't get me wrong, but yeah, there's no fucking way I could read it. But yeah, I'll go through it real quick. The only negative on this here, I'll show you real quick. I don't want to make this video too long, Pete, but I'm like, all right. I'm like, oh wait, yeah, I got to mention this. So okay, yeah, it slides out. And you've got your, I don't know if Pete throws these out, but I save them. This is the promo sheet that's on the back.
I always save them. I just put them on the inside because, of course, they never stick on the back, right? As soon as you open it, they fall off.
But thankfully, it does fit in here.
Yeah, most of them do nowadays.
So you've got the original mix of Liveevil, and I'll show you the bigger one so you can see it, and then the remix double disc. They're both. I'll do it slower in the other one. But what I hate about these, for whatever reason, the way they were designed, the fucking discs just slide right out. Like I couldn't tell you how many times the last couple of days I was on my desk moving around, it just slid right out. There's the nice hardback book, which I'll get to in a second. But right, here's the reproduction program. wow, it's like microscopic.
Yeah.
And then the poster. I like that the poster is in a smaller format because the larger format is big. You know, I had this poster on my wall as a kid. I still have it somewhere. This is the small version. I'll show you the big one. But yeah, I did not like that the CDs just keep fucking falling out. So here's the vinyl version, which obviously you can tell is much bigger. I wish, you know, and this is a wish list of things, and I'm sure, you know, maybe this is nitpicking, but I wish the artwork was a little clearer. It's quite a bit darker.
I was going to say, so it does look darker. Yeah.
You lose a lot of the detail of the original artwork. You know, and I don't know why. Maybe they didn't have the original artwork anymore. Who knows? I mean,
is it just as dark on the vinyl on the inside as it is on the cover of the box?
Yes, and I'll show you that next. So okay, here is the remaster of the original 1982 record, and you can tell it's definitely dark. It's darker and flatter. It does not have the shine or the gloss of the original.
I can tell it right on the zoom. Just looking at through here.
It opens up just like the original. It's got the original gatefold. And the back is almost exactly the same. On the original, it was Geezer Butler, Tony Iommi, Ronnie Dio,
right?
Because they were mad at him. And underneath it said "Special thanks, Vinny Appice drums." Now Vinny and Jeff Nichols too have both been elevated to actual band members, which it's good. It's good they fixed that. You know, that was a long time ago. They were, you know, they were all different people then. So this is the remix version of Live Evil. It's a gatefold, and it basically just, you know, I wish they could have done more with this.
Yeah.
Basically, they just reproduced the same images from the poster. But I think it's cool that it is its own separate entity. I remember the original Live Evil had like a sheet where it said something like the complete works of Black Sabbath, and it was all the album covers. Not that it matters, they didn't do that here, but I do remember that on the original vinyl from the 80s. So I have the original, but this is the reproduction of the Mob Rules program. They did three different, that I'm aware of, they did three different programs for Mob Rules. I have all three of them. And they did a really nice job on reproducing it. I mean, you know, it's maybe not as glossy as the original, but they did a really good job. You know, somebody that doesn't have it, this is great. I mean,
so I have one of them, and it's a different cover, but all the inside is exactly the same.
Okay.
So I think the overlaps on the outside, the covers were all different, right?
Yeah. They had a couple different ones. There was this one. There was one that has the album cover that's actually shown in the book, and there was a third one. But yeah, they did a really nice job with reproducing it. I mean, it's like, you know, I probably couldn't tell. And if somebody handed me this going, is this the original? I'd probably, and everything, all the credits, everything is completely reproduced.
Yeah.
They have the poster, which again, this is 100%, as far as I remember. I didn't measure it, but mall posters are usually 24 inches by 36 inches. And again, I have the original, but you know, this is the full size, and the book is really nice. I mean, the book in large size format blows away the small version. You know, like this, you feel like you're looking through a book. There's great photos, a lot of really good text. Yeah, this is the cover of the original 1981 Mob Rules tour book. But there's ads from the U.S. and the U.K. for the record and the tours. I kind of was a little bummed because in the book, they kind of start in 1979 with Ozzy leaving and Ronnie joining, and it's like they go through the whole story of heaven and hell, and I'm like, dude, get to the fucking Mob Rules tour. That's what this is about. But you know, it's cool. It's really well done. I enjoyed it overall. There's a lot of quotes. Some of the quotes were reused from the 2010 Sabbath reissue of Live Evil. But overall, it's a really nice packaging. As far as the sound and everything goes, I was completely blown away. You know, I know a lot of people. You know, a fan thing that a lot of people talk about, Pete, is like they're always like, oh, you know, I wish I could hear The Number of the Beast again for the first time. You know, I wish I could see Star Wars again for the first time. I mean, this is an album I've listened to hundreds of times, but this new remix is fucking unbelievable.
It's that much different.
That much difference. I was like, holy shit. I mean, and I'll be honest, you know, I played it on my stereo in my movie room. I played it in the car, but where the first time I heard it, I specifically put on headphones and I was like, whoa. I mean, first off, everything is louder and clearer and just way more dynamic. You know, the original mix of Live Evil is
very mid-range, yeah.
Very mid-range. This is definitely not that. Ronnie James Dio's vocals in particular are way louder and more powerful. Vinny Appice's drums are also louder and more powerful. And when I first was listening to it, I'm like, well, how fucking ironic is this? Because the story, which they even talk about, was that Ronnie and Vinny were going in to fuck with the mix of Live Evil, and that's what helped facilitate Ronnie taking off and bringing Vinny with him. But here we are 40 years later, and when they remix it, what's the two loudest things that go up? The drums and the vocals.
Right.
I'm like, how fucking ironic is that? You know, certain things, like in the beginning, like on Neon Nights, some of the songs, there's a lot more echo you can hear on Ronnie's vocals. One thing that I was pleasantly surprised, which apparently is on the 2010 Sabbath reissue of Live Evil, which I never even listened to it because I didn't realize this was there. When they went back to the original tapes, what I thought was really cool was they went and they added on now the original extra stage banter.
That's what I was reading, that there is all the little things in between the songs where he's
which is so fucking cool. You know, there's extra dialogue now between NIB and Children of the Sea. Ronnie does an extra intro before Voodoo. I noticed on Voodoo you could really hear Geezer's bass quite a bit more. On Vinny's drums, you can hear them a lot more, move, you know, right to left and left to right. Even things like in the song Black Sabbath, you know, when Vinny hits the chimes, like you could really hear it now. It really stands out. The drums in the song Black Sabbath are just thunderous. And Tony Iommi's riffs are, particularly like in Black Sabbath, were very, very clear. The two bummers about the whole packaging, one was that the goddamn CDs kept running out of the fucking little sleeves on me. The other thought that really bummed me out, and I was like, wait, what? You know, because like I said, I was listening to it in headphones while I was working, trying to catch all the nuances, even though they added this extra stage banter, which I love. The unfortunate thing is there's a part in between Mob Rules and Heaven and Hell that now is gone. There's a part where Ronnie says something about the platform, and then, and I'm going to paraphrase it, he's like, last time we were here, we had an album out that you liked, and we played a song that you liked called Heaven and Hell. And so now we're going to play the song from that you liked quite a bit, Heaven and Hell. That's gone now.
It's gone. Okay.
Yeah. So that part kind of sucks. So that, you know.
Did they leave in
I'm sure it was just an oversight.
Did they leave in the little part where he's talking to the audience and goes, and finally, a live album from Black
Yes.
Sabbath?
Yes. He goes, if I'm not mistaken, he goes, not only are we filming tonight, but our next album will be finally a live album from Black Sabbath. And that brings up another point, Pete. You know, I love this remix. It's great. But the elephant in the room is the fucking video. We've been waiting 40 fucking years. Where's the goddamn video? If there was any Sabbath release that should have had a, you know, a DVD or a Blu-ray, this was it.
Yeah.
But I will say this, you know, in 2007, I interviewed Ronnie, Tony, Geezer, and Vinny, all 4 separate interviews for the Heaven and Hell tour. I asked all 4 guys, all 4 of them had different answers. But that was 2007. Now we're in 2023. We still don't fucking have it. We're never getting it. The last I heard about it was Joe Siegler, who runs the official Black Sabbath website, black-sabbath.com. He recently said, when talking about this, that the band does not have the footage. He's like, I can't really talk about it because it's not my story to tell. He's like, but the band does not have the footage, and, you know, they hope it would come out or something along those lines. So, you know, while I would love to see it, I don't think
that doesn't sound too promising. Yeah, I hope
it does not. Yeah. And there is like 20 minutes for those who want to watch on YouTube. There is like 20 minutes of footage of it on YouTube. Some of it is silent. Some of it has does have sound piped in. But overall, I mean, you know, again, I hate to spend anybody's money, but if you are a big Sabbath fan, holy smokes, the remix on Live Evil sounds, you know, fantastic. I mean, you know, like on Sign of the Southern Cross, man, you can really hear, you know, the bass effects now, on Geezer's bass, and man, I just love it. You know, the crowd noise is still very low. I did notice the sing-along part in the beginning of Heaven and Hell, where Ronnie asks for the audience to sing back to it. On the original, it always seemed kind of silly because you could barely hear it. Now it is pumped up, but having heard the original so many times, I'm like, well, to me, it almost sounds artificial. Again, that's nitpicking. But overall, I'm shocked they did such a nice package. The thing, though, that really, now I'm beyond irked about this is about a year ago, Pete, me and you did the reviews for the reissues of the double disc CDs, which were like finally released in the UK, of Heaven and Hell and Mob Rules.
Yep.
And, you know, they did not do a 4-disc box like this.
Correct.
For Heaven and Hell and Mob Rules. They only did the double discs. And I remember saying on that video to you, going, all right, well, I'm sure that's got to be a Sharon or an Ozzy related thing where we're only going to see 4-disc special editions of the Ozzy era.
Yeah.
So I am shocked as all hell that we get a 4-disc set on this.
However, there's no extra anything, and that's why.
Right. But I'm thinking, well, wait a second. Why didn't we get 4-disc sets of Heaven and Hell and Mob Rules? I know they don't want to release any unreleased songs, but there's plenty of live shit you could have filled out.
Yeah.
I mean, even on Mob Rules, they remixed just the title track, which sounded fantastic. And between Mob Rules and Heaven and Hell, I would have loved a remix of Heaven and Hell. You know, because I don't think the production on that is as good as
it's a very dry Martin Birch production.
Yeah,
that would have, that would have, I think, warranted having something to kind of beef it up a little bit, kind of like Mob Rules.
Yeah. So it just blows my mind that Live Evil, which did not sell as well as Heaven and Hell and Mob Rules, gets the 4-disc treatment, but those two records for some reason did not. But hey, maybe down the road, because now it's also weird because right, we've got all these really nice 4-disc box sets of everything so far. I mean, of the ones that are released, obviously Heaven and Hell and Mob Rules are omitted. They've still got to do Sabbath Bloody Sabbath and Master Reality and Never Say Die. I mean, I'm sure they're going to get to the ones they missed. But yeah, overall, I think they did a really great job with Live Evil. I mean, I know somebody I watch on YouTube mentioned, and I was like, oh my God, I didn't even think of that. That would have been great if they did like UFO did, where they released all the shows, you know, for Live Evil. Right. But that would have been multiple discs and would have made a higher price point.
Yeah.
So I'm, you know, shocked at how much I do like this remix of Heaven and of Live Evil. I'll definitely be listening to it quite a bit. So and you know what I love too, and I know I've said this before, Pete, it's a complete, you know, it plays out unlike say Exit Stage Left. It plays out like a complete show, like you're listening to a complete show. But now with the extra banter, it really feels like
whole show. Yeah,
it really feels like, oh, this is, you know, this is a whole show, and there's a little bit of time in between the songs, and even like Children of the Grave, you can hear Tony doodling with his guitar before he actually plays the intro. Right on the first line, on the real Live Evil, the original, right, he just goes into the intro.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think they did a really good job. Other than, you know, having even more, you know, songs from other because right, I think it was 3 shows, and I think that's on the cell. Is it on the cell sheet? It's somewhere in here where they note, which I thought was cool, the cities where each song was recorded. And there definitely is. I mean, there's a couple parts I didn't have the time to go back and re-listen to everything, but there was a couple times where I was like, huh, the guitar does seem a little different here. So I don't know if it is a different, you know, it's different on the remix as opposed to the original, you know, and I'm no musician or audio expert. I'm just going by my ear and memory. But yeah, in fact, there was a part on the Heaven and Hell solo, you know, during the song after, and I was like, huh, was that on the original? That one I did go back and replay. I'm like, yep, yeah, there it is. Okay, I guess, you know, I kind of forgot that. It was a part that gets kind of distorted, and yep, it was in the original. The one thing they also fucked up on is when I did put the CD in the computer, the track listing is all fucked up.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So like the first disc was fine, but then I put in disc 2, which is supposed to open with the Mob Rules, and it says Neon Nights, which is a disc, you know, so they're, for whatever reason, I guess accidentally duplicated the track listing. So if you're putting it in, you know, iTunes or whatever, I guess you could just retype over it. But overall, yeah, they did a really, really nice package.
People are probably asking, will they be selling the remix CD on its own? My guess is not.
I'm going to guess not as well, Pete. I couldn't see it.
Same thing. I just reviewed the other day the Wishbone Ash 50th anniversary box set of Argus, and that's like, you know, it's got the 2 LPs and 4 CDs and a DVD in there, and in there is the CD version, a remix of Argus, and it sounds spectacular. And I know lots of people have already been asking me, do you know if they're going to sell that separately? Because I don't want to spend $100 in the box set. I'm like, I don't think so. Don't think so.
Same with this. I couldn't see it. I mean,
yeah.
Never say never, because like I remember, gosh, probably like 10, 12 years ago, Rhino came out with this very limited edition numbered Mob Rules show from the Hammersmith Odeon. I think it was just called Black Sabbath Live at the Hammersmith Odeon, 1981, something like that. And then it quickly went out of print. The numbers, you know, to buy it off eBay went through the roof, but then they did reissue it on one of the Mob Rules double discs. So never say never, but yeah, especially because it's 2 CDs. Yeah, I couldn't see it, and I think they want people to buy the set. Although some reviewer that I watched was like, he was thinking that these sets were like really in limited numbers. I mean, the number he threw out was like 2,000 copies, and I'm like,
Oh, it's got to be way more than
I was
that.
like, it's got to be more than that. That sounds really low.
Yeah, that's really low. That'll be gone in a couple hours. That's I can't imagine it would be anything less than like 10,000 or so. I mean, you would.
I would think. I mean, that's a super, super low run. But
Yeah,
yeah, again, it's just mind boggling how good it sounds now. And listen, let's not forget, listen, 1982, Tony and Geezer, they were fucked up. Tony admits he was doing a lot of blow. And also the speed of it. When you go through the book, it's like, holy fuck. Like they ended the Mob Rules tour at the end of August of 1982, and this thing was on the shelves to try and hit the Christmas rush at the end of December in the States, and then in the UK, I believe, was like the first week in January. So I'm like, holy shit. 3.5 months later, after the tour ends, you've got a double live record from that tour?
yeah.
I'm like, today that would be unheard of, let alone 40 years ago.
And then you blink and Born Again is out, right? So it's
it's unbelievable.
crazy.
Unbelievable. I mean, and when you really start analyzing, like, wow, yeah, these guys, and along with all these other bands in the 80s, worked at an incredible pace. No wonder everybody was on cocaine.
Yeah. So it's funny because, like, leading up
to my
today,
highest possible recommendation.
Yeah, I've been asked, like, am I buying this? Am I reviewing this for weeks now? And we behind the scenes, we've all been, all of us Hudson Valley Squares folks, whatever, we've been talking about, what's on this, what's not on this, is there any extra stuff? And I was kind of like, God, there's no extra anything, no footage, no extra live stuff. And I'm kind of like, another remaster, okay. A remix, okay, a book, a poster. All right. Do I really need to spend the money on this? Because I'm not unhappy really with the sound of the original Mob Rules. I mean, of Live Evil at all. And so Chris just got it, and he and I have been talking over the last like 24 hours. And he goes, Pete, I know you're a huge fan like me. It's like the first time hearing this album. It just sounds amazing. And I'm like, how amazing does it sound? So after sitting here and listening to Chris talk about it for the last 20 minutes, I'm probably going to go get this.
I mean, again, I don't want to spend anybody's money, but if you have the cash and you're a big fan, I think you would like it. And I know, Pete, you and I were talking earlier today about live bootleg Sabbath CDs, which run like, $18 for one CD. I bought myself, 2 today, which cost me $40. I'm like, okay, so for $12 more, it's 4 CDs, a poster, and 2 books.
And a live album that you've loved for 40 years, it sounds better than ever, apparently, right?
Yes. Which, I guess I'll be honest, it's cool to have a remastered version of the original version, but now hearing this one, I'm probably
you'll never listen to that, right? Yeah.
Yeah. I'll probably never go back. I mean, maybe I should just to really compare it, but it's eye-opening how but like I mentioned that too with the remix they did of the title track of Mob Rules. I thought that sounded fantastic. Not that I want to erase the original version, but holy shit, if you want to remix that, throw that on there. If I gotta buy something again,
makes you think how that remix of Born Again is going to sound if they ever get around to releasing that.
Holy smokes. Yeah. I mean, I thought of that too, Pete, going, wow, if they could, listen, I'm no audio technician, but if they could go use the original tapes and make it sound this good, holy smokes.
And lots of people hate the production of Born Again. And but, I've lived with it for 40 years and completely used to it the way it is. But the thought of it sounding like the way it probably was supposed to sound, that's very intriguing for me.
Absolutely. So I'm very, very curious.
All right. Well, it's sitting in my Amazon cart, so I just need to pull it
Yeah.
out. So
Yeah, I think you'll be pleasantly pleased. And I know I mentioned it already. I just got this in the mail. We'll have to review this soon. This just came out.
yeah, I got to get that too.
And whenever we do that, Pete, I'll have to crack this open. This is this massive book from the UK. It's Black Sabbath, the Dio years.
Wow.
It's in a slipcover. It's got autographs. It was like, I don't know what it goes for now, but it was like $600. Yeah.
Denise is not around, is she?
Well, she gave it to me for Christmas,
Oh,
but I didn't tell her it was $600. I told her it was 200. But hey, she still gave it to me for Christmas. But yeah, out of anything, that's what I really want to. I only look at it. It's a cool book. I haven't flipped through the whole thing. I've had it a while, but I'm like, I can't touch this with naked hands. Especially, listen, I had fried chicken for dinner, so I do not trust myself.
Hence the blue gloves, right?
100%, 100%. It doesn't care how much palm olive or dish soap I use. I can't trust it.
I know. Yeah. Well, call you greasy hands aloe, right?
That's it. That's it.
So there you have it, everybody. A little unboxing and review of the liveevil CD and vinyl box sets, courtesy of Mr. Aloe. So hopefully after watching this, you've made up your mind, yes or no. Do I go take the plunge? I'm going to do it. So that CD box will be probably heading my way fairly soon. So
nice.
It is what it is. The curse is real, man. I tell you.
Oh, it's tough. Even when you don't want it, it's like, oh man.
Yeah, I somehow thought I knew I was going to get it. Even there were some viewers who were like, Pete, you're going to break down and get it at some point. Like, I don't know if I really need it, but yeah, I do.
It's tough. It's when you listen to the whole thing, yeah, you'll have to let me know what you think. But
I definitely will. I definitely will.
To me, it was eye opening. I mean, like I said, it's that line that we use as fans. Oh, I wish I could hear that record again for the first time, and that's what it was. I was like, oh, I had the headphones, and I was like, oh my god. I didn't know you could make something sounds. And the one thing too, it makes you wonder, like, okay, if it sounded this good in the 80s, maybe liveevil would have been a more popular record.
So here's my question for you. I'm glad you brought that up in closing here. One of the things that many people have said over the years, and a good friend of ours, Mr. Butch Jones, says it all the time.
Yeah.
This album and Speak of the Devil came out right around the same time. And even as a huge fan of Sabbath, and I took that side over the Ozzy side, when you listen to those two records side by side, Speak of the Devil is a great sounding, in your face, raw, powerful sounding album, regardless of what you think of the content. Right. Does liveevil now compete with Speak of the Devil, sonically speaking?
100%. 100%. I mean, I did not go back to back. And of course, it would be tough because there is not a remixed version of Speak of the Devil or Talk of the Devil for our European friends. But yes, I mean, Butch is not wrong. Speak of the Devil does have a very live, dynamic sound to it. And yeah, liveevil always definitely was flatter. But now with this new version, it really does compete, and I would say surpasses it. But wow. That's me.
Okay. Well, that's all I need to know.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Well, you all watching, you be the judge. If you have gone out and checked out liveevil, let us know what you think of that remix and the box set itself down in the comments below. And otherwise, we'll see you real soon here on the channel with more new reviews here on Wednesday. New review day. It's What's Hot with Sea Tranquility Day. Thanks to Chris Aloe for coming on board once again and talking Sabbath and showing off some Sabbath. And visit us on the web at www.seaoftranquility.org. We're on Facebook. We're on YouTube all together all the damn time. For Chris Aloe, I'm Pete Pardo. Enjoy the rest of your day, everybody. We'll see you soon here with more new stuff. We should have, hopefully today, review of the new Tanith today, new Mystery, and maybe Witch Hazel, and possibly a couple other things. Got new Anubis Gate here, all sorts of other stuff. So no shortage of new stuff to review. Oh, possibly new Rival Sons as well. So lots happening. Till then, see you real soon. All right, Sig Tranquility. Bye-bye.